Hey, hey, hey! Happy Sunday night, guys. This is Tara with Tarabeth Stamps. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in mid-Missouri. And tonight we're going to do a Father's Day card once I get everything up and running. There we go. If you're on tonight, give me a shout out. Let me know that you're here and where you're watching from. As I said, this is Tara with Tarabeth Stamps. Tonight we're going to do a fun card using the Gone Fishing stamp set and die. And so this is perfect for Father's Day. That's just a couple of weeks away. I guess it's 2 weeks, I think, today. 3 weeks today. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a cute little easel card. Look how adorable this is. For our dads out there. So super fun card. Hey, Karen, thanks for joining. Hey, Susan, thanks for joining. So super cute card. I've got a lot of stuff that I did ahead of time just because, you know, there's a lot of two-step stamping here. I didn't really want to bore you guys with that. We'll do a little bit of the stamping, but mainly we're just going to assemble the card. So this is the stamp set. So it's great for retirement, great for Father's Day, a great masculine card, but you know, we've got a lot of female fishermen's too. So you just change the colors around. Hey, and use it however you want. But this is a really great set that I think a lot of people are going to get a lot of good out of. The cool thing about it is the dies. So you have these two dies that work together to create your tackle box, which is super awesome. This weird looking die cut, these two, these are going to be for your water, and you can put your bobber. And so you're going to die cut your paper, and then you've got your bobber that's got the water running to create those natural circles out in the wild. You've got your hooks, your lures. You've got your nice little waves and stuff. So, hey, Carol, thanks for joining. So a lot of fun stuff and a lot of ways that we can change things around. So we are going to get to it and get going. All right, so I'm doing a different color scheme on the one we're going to do tonight. So I got to thinking this evening as I was driving to town to pick my husband up, I was like, you know, I think Daddy's tackle boxes were all like a light brown and a dark green. I think both Daddy and Grandpa had dark green tackle boxes. So I thought I'd bring in some Mossy Meadow instead of the pecan pie and crumb cake that we use for this one. So I'm going to set this out of the way and let's get going. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I did some die cutting. I die cut this large piece out of Mossy Meadow, and then this is the base portion that goes with it, and this is out of crumb cake. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up where I want it, and then I'm going to add a little bit of repositional tape because I want to do some stamping on the actual back piece, but I don't want too much movement. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp the sentiment. And I like this. So glad that you're my dad. And we're going to do that with the Mossy Meadow. So I'm going to set that up. And then we'll put this away. And then I didn't grab any crumb cake. I'm just going to reach around and grab it real quick. It's not like it's that far away. Sorry for the shift. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up these little pieces, like, I don't know what you would call them, but they're, it's like the ground pieces for the tackle box. So I'm just going to do some light stamping, and I'm just going to stamp off a little bit because I don't want it too dark. This is just going to give that tackle box just a little bit of extra dimension. Hey, Lisa, thanks for joining. So just stamping off a little bit. So this is going to be like the inside of that tackle box where you've got little tracks and things like that, so that it's not completely solid on the bottom. So that's basically what I'm doing here. We're going to still put it underneath there. All right. So that's just to give that tackle box. Hey, Vicki, thanks for joining. The whole gang's here tonight. All right, so that's what we're going to stamp with for our tackle box. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out some Stampin' Dimensionals. And you're going to watch me just cut a real thin line here from the outside. And that's because I don't have any of the adhesive strips like I thought I did. So I'm basically making my own. So I want to give this tackle box lid some dimension. So I'm just going to cut just right here along the edge, just as thin as can be, some dimensionals. And so I can add it. And it doesn't have to go all the way around, just a little bit. And so I always keep my dimensionals around just to use these extra components, because they're perfect for thin slivers. All right, so I'm going to find another portion of dimensional. Here's another sheet, and I'm just going to cut just a little bit, then we'll get it added on here. Get rid of all these. You guys don't want to look at that. The weather here in mid-Missouri is amazing. I don't know how it is everywhere else. We had my son's graduation party yesterday. It was awesome. The weather was amazing. It wasn't too hot. It wasn't too cold. We were in the shaded, but we could not have asked for a prettier day. I told my husband today, I said, you know, God really looked down on this kiddo and just made a perfect weekend for that kid. He had a party with his girlfriend and another friend, and we could not have asked for more love. It was amazing. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm going to shift this over a little bit. So I'm being careful not to sit it down. I want to line it up so that my sides are going to be close to the same. Here we go. There we are. So I'm happy with that. Oh, you cooked out today, Carol? Nice. We haven't done much cooking out. Like I said, Gavin's graduation was Friday, and I swear we have not stopped in 3 days. Not at all. Okay, so I have done a ton of stamping and die cutting ahead of time, just because I didn't think you guys wanted to watch all of that. So what I have here is I have die cut this little piece. So it's this piece right here and this piece that die cut. That's one die cut right there. You get 2 of these little hooks when you die cut. So I did that out of the silver foil. This bobber I 2-step stamped with pecan pie and poppy parade. This little guy, I stamped him with pumpkin pie, and then I did the second stamp, or the 2-step stamp, with the lemon lime twist. Oh, I'm gonna have to sneeze, you guys, and I'm so sorry. I don't know when it's gonna come, but it's coming. This is a piece of evening evergreen, or not evening evergreen, early espresso. There is a piece of sweet sorbet. So I'm using all sorts of colors because I think that's what your tackle box looks like, or at least that's what Daddy's and Grandpa's always look like. So I just did tons and tons of different stamping. So this is basic gray with a little bit of lemon lime twist as well. So I'm going to show how I made some of my lures as we glue them on. So the first thing I do before I do that is I'm going to take some of this very vanilla twine from the Yeah, the basic twine set. That's what it's called. And we're just gonna do a figure 8 loop. So I'm just gonna loop this around. As you see, I've got my fingers just a little ways away, and I've got a figure 8 loop there. Then I'm gonna twist it around 5 or 6 times, and I'm gonna trim that and put it away. And I'm gonna bring out my tweezers, and I'm gonna clamp it down right there in the middle and pull my fingers out. All right, so we are going to add just a little bit of Stampin' Seal right here, and I'm gonna put that right there in the middle. Now sometimes, because I looped it a lot this time, sometimes I go ahead and put a little piece of tape over the top of that, but we're not going to do that. I'm going to take this bobber that I created, and I've got some mini dimensionals here, and I'm going to put one at the top and one at the bottom. I'm going to get rid of these backs, and I'm going to use my tweezers to help me place it, because these are kind of some smaller pieces, and I want to be careful that I get it right over the top there. And look at that loop. I think I'm going to loop that right there and do a little gluing right there. Let's put just a scotch, a precise term, scotch. We're going to loop that around and glue it down there. And that way it looks like it's tied up with the bobber. There we go. So this is a lot of fun, just creating and kind of playing with how you want to place your items. Okay, so here is another bobber, and I'm going to show you another way. So using a silicone mat would be the way to go for this, but my silicone mat's all the way across the room. So we're just going to do this on my catalog that's got the vinyl siding on it. Okay, we're going to adhere that right there. And then we're going to flip this over and just use a little bit of liquid adhesive on the back and stick this right there in the center. So I feel like this is a bobber of some sort too. I haven't been fishing in years. I was never a very good fisherman. Mom liked to go, but I just wanted to read. That's all I wanted to do. Carol, this is a cute, cute set. It is adorable. There's so many things you can do with it. That's what's so great about it. All right, so I'm going to let that one dry. We're going to bring this back. And now I'm going to show you how I did this little fella. So this is a piece of silver foil that I die cut. And now I am going to take a piece of tape, just a small piece of Scotch tape. And I am going to adhere this lemon lime, not lemon lime, this is Parakeet Party woven ribbon on the back. And I'm just going to decide how long I kind of want it. And that looks like it'll be okay. I'm just going to glue that. I'm going to have to give this a little bit of snip because my piece of tape is just a scotch too big. Okay, so now I'm going to take this. I'm just going to take my fingernail and kind of fray that a little bit. Oh, that may be a little too long. Maybe we'll cut it there. There we go. We'll fray that out. So that's your little guy that flaps in the water and makes it move. So what I did on some of these lures is I looked up images on I just Googled images of fishing lures. And that can give you some ideas on what colors to use, how they look. So that's what I did this morning. All right, so here's that guy. And then we're gonna just kind of scoot him down there. Because if your tackle box looks anything like my dad's always did, it's a mess. A mess, mess, mess. And nothing is ever organized. And there's all sorts of lures all over the place. All right. So I'm taking my tweezers and just adhering this down here at the bottom. Oh, and I'm not going to do that. All right. So now we'll take some more adhesive. I keep putting the lid on this and putting it away like I'm going to be done with it forever. All right. We'll just throw that guy in here. So that was a pumpkin pie and a lemon lime twist fella that I used there. And here is a piece. This is basic gray with a little bit of Poppy Parade. And so I'm using a mixture of adhesive, liquid adhesive, and Stampin' Dimensionals. All right, so we're just about done with the front. So this piece was just a die cut that I did with the Tahitian Tide. And we're just gonna do a little bit of adhering right there. Just put a small dollop, which is way more than I need right there. And then I'm gonna flip him over and I'm gonna do the same thing here that I did with the silver piece. I want some more of that beautiful feathering that you can get from fraying out this ribbon. And I think the Parakeet Party is perfect to go with this set because Daddy always had weird, bizarre green stuff in his tackle box. So I'm going to take a small piece of this tape again just to kind of put it where I need it. I'm going to hang it off there just a little bit and adhere that. There we go. So he's just kind of hanging out there down at the bottom. We'll use a couple of Stampin' Dimensionals and put that on. So this is basically our card front. Super cute, super fun, so many different things that you can do. Now it is ready for the card base. So I'm going to set that out of the way. I'm going to take these little pieces and put them away. All right, so I have a piece of Mossy Meadow cut at 5.5 by 8.5. And so it's scored at 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna fold it and burnish it on those fold lines. And the other one I'm gonna fold back as well. So I'm creating that mountain. Okay, so here we go. There's that mountain that we're creating. You see that? So this is where that's gonna stack up. All right. Now, basically what I'm gonna do, oh, Heidi, thanks for jumping on. I'm glad you like it. So I'm just gonna take some Stampin' Seal and run it along here. And here is my tackle box, and I'm just gonna kind of center it on the front and make sure that there's nice edges all the way around and just seal it down. So I'm only sealing it on the bottom half, you see, only this bottom half. So this top half is gonna be where it pops up. Okay. Now I have some Very Vanilla. I think this piece fits. Nope, that's not the Very Vanilla piece I picked out. Here it is. There we go. There's the Very Vanilla that I want. So this is a 5 1/4 by 4. Yep, 5 1/4 by 4. And here is a strip of the Let's Go Fishing DSP that looks like water. So I thought that would be fun. And what I have is I just have Happy Father's Day that we're gonna stamp with Mossy Meadow. I'm gonna pull this to me and do a real quick stamp here. I've got that paper just lined up to help me eyeball where I want that sentiment. Set that out of the way. we'll take a little Stampin' Seal and put it on the DSP to put on the bottom. And then we'll be ready to add it to the card front, or the card base. So we'll just do a little bit more Stampin' Seal. Okay, there we are. We are just about done. So, awesome thing about Stampin' Up's pattern paper is our DSP often has pieces that can be cut out with the dies. So this little fish can be cut out from the DSP. So what I did was I cut a piece of thick Very Vanilla using the same die. And the reason that I'm doing this is because this is going to pop up just a little bit for our easel card. So this is going to be the stopper for it. And I'm afraid the DSP wouldn't be strong enough over time. But by die cutting 2 layers and one of them being a thick cardstock, it's going to give it just a little bit more oomph. So that's what we want. So I'm gluing those together, and then I'm going to take big dimensionals on this one and put one on each side and put them, try to line them up fairly close to the same spot, because this is going to be how it sticks. So I've got this fish swimming, and that's about where I want it. That's about in the middle. I'm going to seal that right there, tap it down, and there's my easel card. So there it is. You've got your card and then your easel. So it'll lay on the desk like this, if you guys can see that. I don't know if that's better or not. All right, so there's the card that we made. Now the only thing we have left to do is do a envelope. So I've got the coordinating DSP with that, but we want to put a couple of fish in here. So I've got some basic gray that I'm stamping. So I'm going to stamp off just a little bit. And then we'll put another one down here. And on this one, I'm going to use the boho blue. I think the boho blue will look pretty with the Mossy Meadow theme here. So just a little bit. And this is your 2-step stamping. And I'm just lining it up, trying to make sure that I got a little out of the line there, but that'll be okay. Now let's just add a little bit of DSP to the flap. And we've got Easy Father's Day cards that are so cute. It's so fun. This was a set that was on my first order. Didn't play with it right off the jump-go, but it is so much fun to put together. So many things that you can do. Like I said, you could do it for that little guy, for a birthday, for a little guy's birthday, especially if he's a wild fisherman. You could do it for those lady fishermen out there. Not me. I'd rather read a book. But some people love it. All right, so thanks so much for joining me again this week on Sunday night. Thanks for giving me those shout outs. You have a great week, and I will see you here next week. Same time, same place. Have a good one.